See, Yamdutas are coming and then going back again, back and forth. Some place to perceive this. Dying man sees. In medical science, also there are oftentimes a person who dies, he shouts the statement that I don't want to see them. Please ask them to leave. Tell them that they can leave. I don't want to see them. I get people say like this. But he speaks in such a fearful state. People think that it is some mental problem. So in medical science, this terminology is called as a terminal restlessness. The person becomes restless when he is going to die, called terminal restlessness. But there are often incidences people shout addressing someone. It is fear. So there are many times such things have been observed by the people. They are observing also in Kali Yuga more people are sinful. So they at the time of death undergo such experiences. Those who are pure-hearted souls by practice of devotional service, for them come the Vishnu Dutas at the time of death. Like for Guru Maharaj they came, Nanda and Sunanda came to escort them back to the spiritual world. For them actually death is not a death, it's out of experience. They are pure-hearted souls, free from bodily conception of life. So therefore, death is not an experience of death. The proper example, just like a cat, the rat in the cat's mouth and the kitten in the mouth of cat. Both are having the same teeth, but the experience is different. Sometimes materialist people say that you would also have to die. But it's not death like rat. Rat, the teeth of cat is the most fearful experience of life, death. While the kitten, the same teeth, is a very soothing experience, safest place. We have seen sometimes a cat bringing her kitten, and if you observe her, when she carries the kitten, she holds the neck here with the teeth, and then she carries them. Somebody says that it will look like she is dead. The kitten with his legs and hand like this, holding here from the. You have seen like this? It looks like dead because he is feeling very great, safe experience. Peaceful, not making any movements. The rat is the most fearful, death. Similarly, devotee of the Lord look like sometimes dying, but it is different from the karmis dying. Devotee feels Krishna is taking me to some safe place, and if he is pure-hearted, then he is going back to spiritual world. So here, the Yamdutas, they came as the servants of Yamraj. So it is expected from them that they know their master's desires and the purpose also very clearly. Because they are representing the Yamraj, it is expected that they should know the religious principle, because Yamraj is in charge for the judging the people. He's judge. So, if anybody is claiming to be servant of someone, that person is expected to know what is the master's mission or master's desire. That's why you'll find somebody is behaving improperly. Usually people point out his father or his guru. They consider him responsible, right? किसका बेटा है, किसका शिष्य है. He's not behaving properly. So either the blame goes to guru or the father, or he cannot be called as a son or disciple in that sense. Here, the Vishnu does know that the Yamaraj is a proper person. There is no question of Yamaraj. But here the Yamdutas are not representing him properly. They are claiming that they are servants of Yamaraj. But they are not understanding the religious principles, their duties, because they are considering the Ajamila to be suitable candidate for punishment. That's why they are surprised. So the Yamdutas were very, very disturbed because Vishnudas came to stop them. But the Vishnudas also were surprised, but they smiled. What is this nonsense these people are speaking? They were not disturbed in that sense, but they were surprised. Anybody who is representing someone should know that person's mission or that person's representing him. That means he should act as if that person is going to act, right? Otherwise blame goes to the person. Similarly in our lives also, when we are representing Srila Prabhupada or our spiritual master or the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Krishna, it's our important duty to act so that people see that we are representing properly. And when the devotees of the Lord, they act improperly, then people get confused. अरे ऐसा भक्त हो गया, ऐसा कैसे कर रहे हैं, है ना? And they lose faith in spiritual path oftentimes. When devotees are misbehaving or improperly conducting, the common people, they think that this is what is, we don't want to become part of like this. Those who are not very mature, they, by seeing the behavior of the Vaishnavas, devotees, people get put off. So therefore it is very important duty for every devotee that to act in such a way that people get faith in Krishna more. That is actually the preaching. Preaching Krishna consciousness means to act in such a way that people are inspired to become Krishna conscious. Preaching is not just speaking, giving the theoretical class, but it is actually the action. Somebody said this, that one should always preach. And sometimes is required, he should speak. Means what? He should act always in such a way that by his actions people get faith, or they get the message how to act in Krishna consciousness. So achar and prachar, both are important. When we are acting properly, then the people also see that whatever they are speaking is what is practically applicable. And that's how the people get faith. Actions and the speech, both should match. Haridas Thakur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that some people speak but they don't act properly. If they preach but they don't perform their activities according to what they preach. आचार and प्रचार, प्रचार करते हैं लेकिन आचार नहीं करते. And some people do आचार but they don't do प्रचार. They want to practice their own spiritual life in seclusion. But you are not only acting or not only preaching, but you are acting also. That's why Naam Acharya. Acharya. Achar and Acharya. One who is not just teaching, but is acting also according to what he is teaching. Then only that prachar will have effect in our lives and others' lives also. Yadyat acharati shreshtastat evetarujana. Whatever the shreshtas, leaders are acting, other people follow it. Otherwise, sometimes it only becomes theoretical for us, and we also give theoretical to the people. It doesn't transform the hearts of the people. Sometimes it can impress the people, the way we speak, and it can become a entertaining also. Like once one person, Christian preacher was came across one Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj came across one Christian preacher, and he was criticizing Krishna naturally. Sometimes people, you are worshipping the false god and everything. And then in that arguments, whatever is, he was very, very learned scholar. They were discussing for a long time, back and forth. And he was putting his argument, he was putting his arguments back and forth, like that was going on. For a long time, for hours they discussed. And then in the discussion, then Maharaj said that whatever point I am speaking with what you are speaking, but then what I am speaking is also, Jesus also spoke this. So to refute his argument, he gave some reference, I forgot the details. And when he saw that his argument was getting defeated by this evidence what Jesus said, then he said, who knows that Jesus existed or not? Jesus existed or not, who knows? He said. You are speaking a statement, but who knows he existed or not? That's what he said. And the Maharaj was surprised. You are speaking Christianity and you are saying that now, who knows Jesus existed or not? He said, you are a preacher and you don't believe that Jesus. He said, actually, I am just doing it as my profession. He said like that. And he said, then why you wasted my time? He said, that is my entertainment. So sometimes I get entertainment by arguing and discussing and debating. So he was a professor. Maybe his name was. Maybe Jesus didn't exist. Something like that. So this is not the proper person who represents. So sometimes one may, out of false ego, say so many things. But actually we need to see that we are really servants of Krishna. In our lives we should experience Krishna is our master. To the degree we have that faith and realization, to that degree our preaching also will be effective. Not just we want to get some pleasure of defeating others and call ourselves as superiors. But we are genuinely trying to represent Krishna and want to spread Krishna's glories. Today morning we were reading that devotee means he wants to spread Krishna's glories everywhere. those who are representing Krishna, their glories also. Eveyasha Kushiptri Bhuvana. We sing this for Srila Prabhupada. If you are really becoming devotee, that means you like about Krishna, uh, and you also act in such a way that Krishna's glories are spread. People should see, here is a devotee. So nice. I also want to become devotee. Those who are innocent people, they will see the devotees and want to become devotees. So that is the meaning of loving Krishna. He actually love Krishna. Prabhupada said it's natural. Anybody whom you love really, you want to speak about them. You want to, spread their glories. Right? Today morning we are reading this. And then Prabhupada, before that we were reading that the Prabhupada said musical instruments are not so important. Yes, we can use them for making, but we should not get distracted in our consciousness to those musical tunes and instruments. Rather, we should think about how we sing for Krishna's prayer. That's how our consciousness should be. Because sometimes devotees get distracted, that they get so much of trying to make musical sound so much. Prabhupada says that is not required, just mridang kartal. For newcomers, sometimes we may use those instruments, but our own devotees should not get distracted. Prabhupada said this couple of times actually, that we should not get distracted to do just music or just the instruments or just the tunes. Rather the holy name. Holy name means we are taking shelter of calling out Krishna's names. So there are, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world, Narottam Das Thakur and Srimad Bhagavatam, they were preaching Harinam Sankirtan and going on nice. They also did nice, wonderful ways of kirtans. Narottam Das Thakur introduced some special ways of doing kirtans. They called, what kind of kirtans they called? I forgot this. Huh? No. I forgot the name. Some ways of kirtans he introduced, and but later on, many Sahajayik people, they started imitating. Imitation means they actually started playing very nicely, with nice instruments and nice tunes, singing the songs, but they were not actually practicing Krishna consciousness in their lives. They were showing to the people they are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's people, but they were entertaining also people very nicely. Sahajas people, this Aul Baul, Darvesi, they are very good singers. They were attracting also people, but they were not practicing Krishna consciousness. They were rather deviated from this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's actual teaching. And because of seeing their behaviors, people were confused. They are saying that they are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's people, but their behavior doesn't match properly with what the morality is. Or to speak of spiritually, morally also they are not proper. They are performing sinful activities, and all kinds of things. Very horrible things also sometimes. But they were dressing like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were having hairstyle like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, kind of things, and singing. So, that's why Prabhupada said we should not be distracted to those things so much, but it should be our own practice has to be paid attention. We are actually following what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote some songs. Gaurara Ami, Mukhe Bole Chalena. He said that. I am Gauranga Mahaprabhu's. Simply by speaking with your mouth will not work. Gaurara Ami, Gaurara Ami, Mukhe Bole, Chalena, something like that. Gaurara Achara, Gaurara Vichara. What is it? Whatever Gauranga Mahaprabhu has said, his teachings uh, and his uh, vichara, whatever his things has given, that has to be practiced. And then we can represent Chaitanya Mahaprabhu properly. It's a simple thing. Not Gauranga Mahaprabhu has told something complex. But we need to sincerely practice it. Sincere practice of chanting holy name of the Lord, trying to chant attentively, serving Vaishnavas, properly, serving Krishna. So that means we should see that we are developing more and more respect or the love for Krishna. At least on duty platform, we feel duty bound that I need to actually serve Krishna as a servant. That enthusiasm to serve Krishna with our senses, that is actually bhakti. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevana. And to the degree we are making advancement in that line, that we are enthused to serve Krishna, Krishna's senses, and we want to spread Krishna's glories, then we will be able to represent Krishna properly. Otherwise, Maya will cheat us, take somewhere else. So here, because Yamduta, whatever the situation was, they are not representing Yamraj properly. They are doing their duty and their work, but they are unaware about what exactly religious principles are. When we are not very, very mature in Krishna consciousness, we often handle things improperly. We have seen that sometimes devotees, among the devotees, dealings happen in such a way because of immature dealings. Things are mishandled, treating devotees not properly. And sometimes the devotees lose faith in Krishna consciousness because of being wrongly dealt by other people, other devotees. It happens. Therefore, it's very, very important how we are representing our spiritual master, or we are representing Krishna, Srila Prabhupada properly. And that is possible only when we are sincerely practicing Krishna consciousness. Then only we are able to deal properly. This Krishna consciousness philosophy is very clear, but our mind is very, very complex, and that's why it's very tricky. What we need to practice, we expect others to practice it. But we don't practice. Philosophy we can speak. If somebody is, we are troubling and that person becomes disturbed, then we may say, oh, you tolerate. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told that we should tolerate. Tolerance is not that you disturb others, trouble others and say that. Tolerance is for our own practice. And it is also said that we should be very sensitive to others. So what to expect from others and what to expect from oneself, that one has to be very clear. And we expect other people should become sensitive to me. They should understand me. And we expect whatever I do, other people should tolerate. That is how our mind is. So it should be reverse way. We should not expect other people to be. Rather, we should learn to tolerate whatever happens in our lives. Okay, so anybody has a question about whatever we discussed just now? Otherwise, we can go take the next verse. That's why we can actually study the lives of the great souls, how they deal with the situations. Mahajanena Gatha Sapantam. If you understand the lives of the great souls in a particular situation, how they have dealt, study from their lives. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke about Turnadapi Sunijana principle. When it came to Nityananda, Jagai Madai harming him, Mahaprabhu became very angry. He didn't tolerate that. When it comes to one's own self, we should tolerate. When it comes to devotees, one should not. When it comes to others. Any questions, comments? Yes.
Someone has talent, like someone wants to they have restrictions and things like music taste. So they want to do both business labor. They would want to show, but sometimes mind outcomes for they do that. But actually, the intention is not like that. You want to do some hybridization music or extra music, but it is the pleasure for this. We are trying to टेंशन अगर रखने का कोशिश कर रहे हैं, पर कभी कभी माइंड में थॉट आता है कि मतलब ऐसा कुछ थोड़ा आता है, क्रिएटिव थॉट आता है, थोड़ा अच्छा है, बट इंटेंशन अगर ये रहता है तो कृष्णा के लिए प्लेजर के लिए
Krishna's pleasure, that thought is what devotional service is. Anukulyana Krishna Anushilana. When you are thinking about genuinely to please Krishna. That is what the devotional service is, pure devotional service is. Anyabhilashita shunyam, jnana karmadi anavratam, anukulyana Krishna Anushilana. Krishna Anushilana, Anukulyana means what is favorable. Anushilanam, Krishna Anushilanam is done for Krishna's pleasure. To please Krishna. Sincerely. Honestly done activity. So, if someone is doing like that, just to please Krishna, that is perfect. But if it is distracting us from this and getting into, it's true everywhere. Even in the Sanskrit also, studying Bhagavatam. Sometimes we go too much of Sanskrit learning things, and then we get distracted from devotional service. But great devotees like Jiva Goswami has, they are great scholars of Sanskrit, but at the same time, pure-hearted soul. That is how we should see that these things are not distracting us. Our watch to our consciousness. That's what the sincerity means, to see it honestly. Is it distracting me or it is making me more Krishna conscious? There are some Sanskrit scholars who, the history of our movement is that except two devotees, the rest other Sanskrit scholars have divided. Prabhupada disciples. They were Pandits, great Sanskrit scholars, except Pradyumna Prabhu and Gopi Parandanto. So many were there. They were very, very great scholars of Sanskrit. Prabhupada times, Prabhupada would call them sometimes Panditjis, great scholars. But they deviated. They started finding fault with Prabhupada, some of them, like that. Prabhupada's, because sometimes Prabhupada's translations are not exactly according to what the grammars, Sanskrit grammar is. Prabhupada will speak what Krishna is going to speak later on. After a few verses, what Krishna is going to speak, Prabhupada will add into his translation. So it may not be always according to Sanskrit grammar followed like that. Your devotees, they actually are so much in tune with Krishna, they may not follow the grammatical rules sometimes. Abhadhyavatyati. Those who understand this, then they understand that this is not the way we need to judge great devotees. And if you become Sanskrit scholar, then one may judge like this. That's true for every aspect. To deal with the great Vaishnavas, sometimes somebody is not singing properly. And if you are too much in singing, then you may not appreciate the great Vaishnavas singing with faults. We need to have that respect very much. And that humility. So those who are great devotees, Gopi Parandanpus, I have seen him, always very, very humble person. And he is always very loyal to Prabhupada in spite of his great scholarship. It's music or it's Sanskrit or sometimes management. In case of administration also sometimes the devotees who try to judge their guru based on their administration skills may find fault with the guru or great Vaishnavas and may criticize them and lose faith in them sometimes. That's why the great Vaishnavas are the earlier kings would understand their limitation of administration, that they would not control the great Vaishnavas. It's mentioned in Bhagavatam, 4th canto. Prithu Maharaj's ruling was such powerful, is nobody in the entire universe, whatever his jurisdiction was, could what do you call it? Irrevocable. Irrevocable. His ruling power was irrevocable by anyone except the Brahmanas and Achyut Gotras. The Prabhupada writes that his ruling power of king is not on the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. They are not under the jurisdiction of a king. And the king tried to use his power on them, then he will mess up the things. If he is not understanding their position and he forces them with his, like Vishwamitra Muni tried to do it with Vasishtha. He said, whatever is there is king's property, and your cow is my property. But actually the king, yes, it's true that everything is property of king, but not the Brahmaspad, not Brahmana's property. So Vishwamitra Muni forcibly took away the cow, which was the property of Vasishtha Muni, saying that it belongs to me. Shastra says that whatever is in the kingdom, it belongs to the king. But it also said that not the property of Vaishnavas and the Brahmanas. Brahmaspad. So, the administration, somebody has that administration skills and powers, he may misunderstand the great Vaishnavas and try to punish them or like that. That's what is happened here. They were punishing the Ajamila who had actually chanted and got purified. They did not know it. Like we find this Manduk Mani, he was punished like this by the king's people, thinking that he is also thief, because some thieves entered into his hermitage and they thought this person has given them shelter, so they arrested him also and they punished him also along with other thieves. And when king heard this Muni is being punished like this, he came running and he fell at his feet asking forgiveness. So later on Amra says that these devotees, even if they commit mistakes, you don't look at them, he said. That is between them and Krishna. They are not under our jurisdiction. They will be punished by the Supreme Lord if required, whatever is required. You don't enter into their lives. Yamraj says this later on. Vaishnavas, even if they commit some mistakes, that is not our decision to punish them. So one should know whatever his those management is a skill, singing is skill, scholarship is skill. And sometimes the great Vaishnavas may not fall into that particular thing. We should be very careful while dealing with them, those things. And if we are too much attached to those things, then we will find not appropriate. Somebody is not fitting into that. Same thing. Narad Muni also told grammatics sometimes they are not according to the Sanskrit grammar written things. Abadda vattati. Somebody is not singing abadda or not understanding the administration aspects. It may be wrong also. I'm not saying that, I'm not justifying, but sometimes, dealing has to be very carefully done. And if we are attached to those distinct aspects, then we likely to misjudge the devotees based on these aspects. Somebody cannot sing properly, somebody cannot act properly according to administration laws, somebody cannot in the wrong while pronounce in Sanskrit. Or there can be many other such aspects. So that is a distraction. We may get into those subjects. Also, these subjects are also like this, fascinating also. All these things, that astrology, the grammar and everything, Sanskrit, very fascinating. You can just play with those things so much that we forget devotional service. That's very entertaining to our minds. And we may say, I am doing it for Krishna, but then we are just exploring those things. Cooking also is like that. Go on doing so much exploration and then we get distracted from actually cooking for Krishna. So we should see that while doing those things, we are not getting distracted. We should be very careful. Our sadhana should be very, very strict, strong, and then Krishna doesn't want us to have perfection at the cost of our devotional service. Rather, Krishna is happy with anything offered to him with simplicity. He can, the cooking aspect also, he can eat chappan bhog when it's cooked with devotion, but he can just eat something like chipped rice, or he can eat the shabris bare also. He can eat chilka given by Vidurparni also. Krishna is not fond of just only very delicious items. He can have simple items offered with devotion also. We should try to offer Krishna the best delicious food, but not at the cost of our devotional service. Duryodhana ka bhoga na khayo. Chappan bhoga Duryodhana offered with no devotion. So there is a danger of getting into any of these fields. If you go too much into that, not paying attention to your devotional practices, sadhana and services, then we should see that our Krishna consciousness grows. Because devotional service means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Patasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam. This aspect should be performed with desire to serve Krishna and to purify our consciousness. Okay. Any other questions?
Any questions from online devotees?
Verses. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you so much.